Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper Chronicles. Today we have another video of another Ratchet. And this is a KAL or C-A-L, no, or K-A-L Ratchet. And kind of, maybe, I want to say off the back wall, but not really, because KAL is not hard to find and they're pretty prolific. I think they did most of their business in the industrial field or corporate field or government field. These were not, I don't think, readily available. Retail, I think these were more industrial style ratchets, and I think mainly to the US government and military. You see a lot of KAL, and they kind of come from all over, because you see KAL USA like this, and I've seen KAL Japan and also KAL Korea ratchets. So kind of a mixed bag of manufacturers, and I don't know what the US military or the government, their standards are, but I think some of those Japans and Koreans were also made for the government. And this company is very close, or maybe the same company as Pro America. If you guys ever heard of Pro America, I think they still make stuff, pliers and stuff like that, mainly needle noses, still around. And I think this company might be, was the name of that company. It turned into Pro America because a lot of their ratchets and their government contracts, they look almost the same and very similar. This one is an as found, as you see in the title of this video, because I found this one and it's kind of limping along, but doesn't sound really good. It's all full of like grease and kind of rusty grease around the edges, and when you ratchet it, you can hardly hear the ratcheting. It's very muffled and kind of sloppy. You can hear it go over the teeth, and it catches, but not the greatest. And another thing is that the switch does not switch, so there's something stuck in there. I'm not sure what it is. Probably rust through the edges there, or accumulated stuff, grease, dried grease, whatever. So let's take the ring off and look inside and see what is going on. And here's the ring, just a usual core ring, but this one is really greased up and dirty and rusty. Okay, let me wipe off my fingers for a second, and let's push out the mechanism and see what's the problem. But I did put a little bit of WD-40 in there. That's, you see that wetness, but besides that, you see all that all this rust. Let me grab a rag real quick, and maybe I can, oh boy, get a little bit of this. So we can see something. We can see if, yeah, it's pretty dirty in there. It's probably light rusting, mostly DW40 and dirt and grease. Let me use a sharper pick to see. You see, yeah, it's a lot of stuff in those teeth. A lot of old grease or grime or dirt, and yeah, they look okay. They should clean up all right, hopefully. And yeah, a lot of stuff in those teeth. Maybe that was why it was so muffled. But let's take a look and see what's going on with the mechanism over here. And okay, this is a double pawl. This is a 1/4" ratchet. It's double pawl, but you can see here, you can see it's wet now because, as I said, I did put a little WD-40 in beforehand, but you can see all the dirt and grease and grime and rust that's probably been keeping this ratchet from ratcheting all that well. The teeth don't look too bad on the pawl. You see here the teeth, they're just full of crap, but the condition don't look too bad on the teeth themselves. They're just full of something all dried up. See that? So, but the main thing, let me clean this off real quick and see if it looks any better. A little bit better, but yeah, looks a little bit better. It needs a good cleaning. Take apart and take the whole thing apart and clean out all the parts. See big chunks of something here. See those big chunks? Just hanging on over here. Yeah, it seems like dried something or another. Probably dried grease. But the main concern is the switch, which is not switching. Yeah, I have to get in there with some I usually have a jar of DW40 and just put it like in a glass jar, and I have a little pipette in it, and with the pipette I don't spray, because spray gets everywhere and it gets where you want it to go, but then it gets everywhere else. I use the pipette because it's just puts it where I want it and at the right amount that I want. So let me work this in, and I'll come back when I get it loose. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I was able to get it to switch again I put a decent amount of WD-40 in the cracks here and in here where the plungers are, and I put it in a wood jaw vise with the jaws barely open so it could fit the switch protrusion, and I just gave a little twists and it eventually broke. So to get this apart, it has two pawls, so you press both pawls and you want to get the plungers these plungers. Underneath this part here, so you can slide it out. Okay, I finally was able to get the plungers underneath this part here, this little post here, so they're depressed, and under that one they're depressed so they can slide out, and hopefully with help of a magnet I will be able to take it out. But another thing is that this is pretty rusted, so it's probably needs a good amount of coaxing to come out. Let me grab a bigger magnet, see if that does anything. Yeah, there we go. So, remember, both of the plungers are underneath here and they're under pressure. So, you want to cover up all the holes when you slide them out, or they want to shoot out. Okay, that's what we're dealing with, folks. See this? That's the WD-40 and all the rust that was underneath there. See if I can get some of it here. But yeah, those are the plungers, and all the rest of it. Plungers with the springs, still working. And over here we have the rest of the mechanism. Yeah, has the two pawls, two pawl pins. And for some reason, I think they're going to give me a hard time. And I wasn't wrong. That one on the bottom, this one on top is giving me problems. And the one on the bottom, I thought was a little bit better, but not quite. Okay, after much wrangling, I was able to get the mechanism apart. Here's the main housing. Yeah, it's a mess. It's rusted, full of junk in there. And here are the pins that were giving me problems. You see the pins are pretty pitted. The pawls are dirty, somewhat pitted, but the teeth are in good shape and they should clean up pretty good. There's a good shot of that surface rust, and the other pin and pawl, same thing, dirty surface rust. This pin was giving me a hard time. You see up here where it was sticking in the mechanism. It's pretty well pitted. Took a little while. Liquid wrench penetrant and banging a little bit, and a magnet, and the pins finally came out. Okay, so I'm gonna clean these and I'll come back when they're somewhat presentable. Okay guys, we're back. Yeah, I got things sort of presentable. I cleaned up a good deal. Got rid of most of the pitting, most of the rust. There's still a little bit there, but it's still a lot better than what it was. Here's the head and the teeth. They look pretty good. And the mechanism looks better than it did. The switch, cleaned it out. Ooh. The switch there. The pins, cleaned them out. And the paws look a lot better than they did. Okay, to get this together, we just take your paws and you line them up with the hole. You take your pin. And maybe do a better job at lining up the hole. There we go. Got that one in. Get your next paw. Line up that hole. There. You get that pin in like that. Now, take your switch. Get your plungers in. Like that. Okay, this plunger on top is going to go underneath this pole here, which is farther. And grab a pick. Press that one down. And of course, this one wants to pop out. So let me get my non-magnetic tweezer and see if we can drop that plunger in the hole there. And now we squeeze down that second plunger. And there we go. It's switching. Now it's asymmetrical. There's no cutouts or anything, so you can drop it in either way. Take your ring, open that up. Okay, now you mash it around, and there. Now you hear it, it sounds a whole lot better, and it switches, and there you go. It's a double pawl design, so it's a pretty robust little 1/4 inch ratchet. Okay guys, that's the KAL USA ratchet, as found. Pretty rough shape, but with some elbow grease and know-how, you get it back working. Okay guys, until next time.